Hey Jans, my name is Shambhavi and I'm a professional makeup artist based in Patna, and today I did this look very much inspired by Deepika's this eye makeup actually. So to see how I created this look, let's roll into the main content. First things first, I'll moisturize her face really well because she has really dull and dehydrated skin. So I'm moisturizing it with a Cetaphile moisturizer. Then I'll prime her skin with this Inside Cosmetics primer for that beautiful smooth canvas, and a little bit on the eye too for that beautiful blend of eyeshadows. Because she has a little bit pigmentation around her eyes, so I'll color correct with a peach corrector and buff it with a sponge. You can see the difference from one eye to the other. And then I'll do the second eye too. I'll powder down her face so that the base will not crease. I'll start with a grey eyeshadow and buff it all over her crease and give it a little bit of dimension with a fluffy brush. Then I'll use an orangish brown shade and buff it all over her mobile lid up to the crease. And then I'll use some reddish brown shade for that beautiful lifted eye look from the outer corner. I'll use a deep brown shade and buff it across the lash line for that smoked out effect. Now I'll redefine the color for that beautiful darker gradient of the shadows. Now I'll use this true brown color, buff it all across the crease, and whatever is left I'll buff it onto the mobile lids too. Next I'll use this chocolatey brown color for that smoked out winged effect and buff it up to the outer crease. Now you can see we have a beautiful gradient of the reddish brown, orangish brown, chocolatey brown and everything, and I'm just cleaning the fallout from the shadows. Next I'll apply obviously primer, which I removed it with the micellar water, it's important, and then I'll use a shade DFD as a corrector and use it where she has pigmentation and buff it with a kabuki brush. Next I'll use medium coverage foundation because we actually covered the skin unevenness with a thicker color corrector. Now we don't need that kind of full coverage foundation. It will just cake up the base. So to brighten up her skin tone, I'll use a lighter and very close to her skin tone foundation and mix them together for that beautiful flawless gorgeous base and buff it with a damp sponge for that airbrush finish. Always keep in mind how you use your foundation, powder and concealer and the kind of texture you are using onto your face. If you don't know how to use it, you will end up caking up your base. Now I'll use liquid golden highlighter for that beautiful sheen, and because it was dark in tone, it gifted that beautiful warmth to her skin and end up looking very beautiful and sun-kissed. I'll use a pressed powder to strengthen the longevity of the base. I actually don't use lighter shade of cream or liquid concealer because too much of product end up creasing. So I learned a new technique myself. Use a lighter shade of powder under the eye. It assures that the under eye won't crease at all. Also it highlights the area without using too much of product. I'll contour her face, give it a little bit of dimension so her face won't look flat, and I don't want to take her real structure from her face, so I'm keeping the contours very light and airy. Now to connect the whole eyeshadow look together, I'll buff the shadows onto the lower lashes. Then I'll use a reddish shade and buff it really low to make it even smokier. The main part of this eye makeup is kajal, loads of kajal. So don't afraid to use or put loads of kajal in your eyes. It will make it look very dramatic, beautiful and stylish. And I'm doing it onto the lower lashes and on the upper lashes, in the waterline, all over, just making it really black and dramatic. I'll do a very beautiful structured brow. So because I'll keep the primary and the secondary features very subtle, I can do very heavy brows to connect the whole look together. I'll brush the brows with a spoolie so that product will go into the hair and make it look very beautiful and voluminous. Next I'll use a nude blush because I'm going to use a nude pink lipstick. That's why I'll use a nude pink blush to connect the tones together. Next I'll use a nude lip liner. Of course I'm going to overline her lips a little bit. Next I'll use a brown lipstick and buff it all over her lips for that tone I'll create. Then I'll put nude pink shade just in the center for that fuller lips, and this is how I create perfect nude for her skin tone. Lastly, I'll highlight her features, and that's it for the look. I hope you all find it helpful. See you all in my next video, and thanks for watching. And yes, of course, I'll put lots of mascara for that voluminous fuller eyelashes.